Hi, I'm Julia Hankins, and I am the founder of Wellbeing Adventurers, and we deliver wellbeing workshops and trainings. And I also mentor other children's wellbeing specialists, such as children's yoga teachers and mindfulness teachers. And today I'm going to be talking all about enrichment days and answering some common questions that I often get asked by other kids yoga teachers or by the schools that are booking me for enrichment days. And so, whether you're a school or nursery looking to book an enrichment day with me, or whether you're a wellbeing practitioner, such as a yoga teacher or mindfulness, and you'd like to deliver wellbeing days yourself, this video will hopefully talk you through the practicalities and help you to understand how enrichment days can work smoothly, safely, and successfully. And so, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the space. So I most often deliver enrichment days in school halls. Halls are brilliant because they allow me to set up yoga mats, and so that each child has enough room to move, to stretch, to explore their bodies safely. And I have enough yoga mats so that each child has one each, and we have a few spare too. And this helps sessions stay fully interactive and movement rich, which is a core part of Wellbeing Adventurers. That said, enrichment days don't always have to be limited to schools. And I know that many education settings really struggle with space, and space is seen as a real premium, especially during enrichment weeks, activity days, or curriculum drop down days where a lot is happening all at once. And over the years, I've delivered enrichment days in classrooms, in sensory rooms, in school libraries, and outdoor spaces, and even inside a teepee. And so, with clear communication and enough planning time, I can adapt sessions to suit the space available, and I'm always happy to do that. So, what makes a good space? Although a hall is ideal, the space doesn't need to be perfect. It does, however, need to be safe, clean, and quiet, or as quiet as a school can reasonably be. And so, let's look at each one with a bit more detail. So, safety and space to move. So, movement is a key part of wellbeing adventurous sessions. And while I adapt the types of movement that we do, children still be moving their bodies no matter which space we were in. And so, it's important that there's enough room for the number of children in that space. And it's also important that children can move without bumble furniture. And so, if the space is smaller, it might be safer to reduce the group sizes and run more sessions across the day. And that can work quite effectively. Another thing to consider is furniture in the space. Sometimes sessions take place in rooms that contain other furniture, such as gym equipment or flip charts or tables. And ideally, those furniture would be moved. And if that's not possible, it's really important that there's clear physical boundaries are set, expectations are shared with children, and the adult leading the workshop maintains a strong, calm structure, which is what I do in all of my enrichment activities. And these things help keep everybody safe and focused. If the workshop is arranged in a classroom, there's no need to move the desks and the chairs as long as it's been with that in mind. So, is it best to have one space or to be moving around? The ideal scenario is that the enrichment sessions all will take place in one space, with the classes visiting on a rota, and that maximizes the teaching time and reduces transition time. However, I do also understand that this isn't always possible, and I do offer enrichment days where I move amongst classrooms if that's what the school needs. And the main thing to be aware of here is that moving between spaces takes time, and this can slightly reduce the session length. We can always talk this through in advance to decide what works best for your setting. So if it's something you're considering, do get in touch and we can chat about it. So, cleanliness. Many of the spaces used for enrichment days have multiple purposes. For example, a hall might also be a dining area or used for a before school club where food might be eaten. And because I provide yoga mats for my workshops, it's really important that the floors are thoroughly cleaned before the sessions. And if I'm teaching in a space that isn't clean, such as outdoors, this naturally changes how and what I teach. For example, I may not choose to use mats at all. And so this is why communication ahead of time is so important, as it allows me to plan sessions that are appropriate, comfortable, and safe for the children. So the third thing that a space needs to be is quiet or quiet enough. Schools are wonderfully busy places and complete silence is rare and also slightly worrying. And that said, there's some situations that aren't suitable for the sessions that I deliver. For example, I don't share spaces with other activity providers and I don't work in very noisy multi-activity sports halls that aren't appropriate. So, a key part of Wellbeing Adventurers lessons is supporting children to connect with themselves, and that becomes almost impossible if there's a lot of competing noise or distraction. In terms of organising the day, on an enrichment day, I usually teach multiple classes across the day, and schools can choose to organise the timetable themselves or ask me to plan the timetable for them. Many schools prefer to manage their own timetable because they know that they're setting best. And others really appreciate having that taken off their plate. If I'm creating the timetable, I always consider timings such as the start of the school day, register times, break times and lunch times, and the end of school day. And I'm also mindful that these timings can differ between year groups. And other things to consider are other uses of the space. So most school spaces are used for more than one purpose. For example, breakfast clubs, after school clubs, dining, break time activities, or any after school like extracurricular activities may take place in the school as well, in the school hall as well. And knowing this in advance helps ensure that there's enough buffer time between the activities. It makes sure that there's no clashing that's happening, and it ensures a calmer flow to the day as well. There are some other factors that might affect the timetable, and sometimes other events, particular year groups, such as trips or special activities, can impact on the day itself. And so I always take that into account. And I also consider that younger children can often take longer to transition, and registration time can often take more time in EYFS and Key Stage 1. And so for this reason, I usually avoid starting the day with the youngest children where that's possible. Schools are really busy places with lots of busy moving parts, and thoughtful planning is really, really important and makes such a difference to running a successful enrichment day. And so communication is key, and the most successful enrichment days are built on clear and open communication when both the education setting and the wellbeing practitioner are clear about expectations, space, timings, and any other practical requirements. And the day runs much more smoothly and children get the most out of the experience. So when I deliver enrichment days, I always provide clear information for staff in advance so that everybody knows what to expect and how to support the sessions. Are you interested in an enrichment day? Are you a school or a nursery looking to book a Wellbeing Adventurers Wellbeing Day? Get in touch with me and let's get you booked in. Or perhaps you're a children's wellbeing practitioner and you'd love to offer enrichment days, but you feel like you'd need some more guidance or support. You can book with me and we can have a chat and discuss that. So I'm hoping that you found this a little introduction into enrichment days and the practicalities of them. And perhaps you would like to refer back to last week's video where I talked about why enrichment days are useful. If you've got any other questions, get in touch.